Hi, my name's Al Kahi, and I'm the creator of the Google Meet attendance extension. I'm also a teacher with the Ottawa Carleton District School Board in Ottawa, Canada. And I created this extension back in March when we had to shut down due to COVID. This video is hopefully intended to get you started quickly using my extension as efficiently as possible. My extension will add this little dialog to the screen when you open your Meet. Notice that it starts on the left-hand side of the screen, but clearly I can drag it to wherever I'd like. You can actually even hide it completely once you actually get your Meet started. In the top left corner of the dialog, there's a drop-down menu. And this allows you to add the named classes that you teach. So I'm going to add one. I'm going to call it my sample class, and then click the little document with the green plus sign button, and my class has been added to the drop-down list. I can add another class. And so on and so on. There is no limit to the number of classes that you can add. There is no prescribed format. You can name your classes whatever you want. Now, sample class, another class, probably not the best names. What I typically do is either add the class code and section number or class code and period. But again, you can enter them as you please. So, yeah, my math class. Click the plus sign, and there we go. Now, if you have made a mistake or you want to get rid of one of the classes, so yeah, I changed my mind, another class is probably not a good name, select the class from the drop-down menu, click the little trash can. Are you sure you want to delete it? Yes, I am. And now it's gone. So there, we've added the classes. They're in the list. And just before we get going here, I just want to set things up so that when I go into the classroom, things get joined properly, or as I want in my example. When I start the Meet, click Join Now. Do not start by clicking the Present button. That causes problems. So what I would ask you to do is click the Join Now button, and when you want to present, do that from within the Meet. So we start the Meet. This dialog pops up with some additional text about things and the start time. If you want to change the start time, click the little blue stopwatch thing. Down in the bottom, we have this little checkbox here that gets added that will automatically hide and show the dialog. Notice that text dialog disappeared automatically. It will do so after 10 or 15 seconds. You can always click the red X in the top corner to get rid of it. And so if I click this green check mark down at the bottom, the dialog disappears completely. Click it again, it reappears. Okay. You can also drag it to somewhere other location that it's not taking up valuable real estate, but you may want to close it all together. Now I'm going to leave it open for the purposes of this demo because I want you to see what's happening. The question that comes up is, how do I enter the names into my class? So at this point here, let's suppose we've got my sample class selected, and I want to get the names into that class. I started the Meet with no names in that class. And that's probably the best way to do it, because I don't know before the fact how your district, how your school board enters the names when the students join the Meet. And the entries in your class list have to match how the students arrive in the Meet. Sometimes they arrive first name space last name. Sometimes they arrive first last name comma first name. I've seen districts where they have student name and then in square brackets student to indicate that they're a student, or student name and role ID, or all sorts of other combinations. And so if you don't know what that's going to be in advance, well then don't bother typing your names in to start. I've left the field empty. I'm going to have a kid join my Meet by clicking in a private window. Oh, and I'm getting this dialog because I'm faking the student joining. Hopefully you won't have to admit each of the students. If you do, that's a setting that your IT folks at your district can handle for you. And notice over here, student B has joined the Meet. There it is. The extension automatically adds the name, and it adds it in the proper format so that attendance can be taken. Now, given that I have my student B in the class, well, I'm going to now type another name, student A. I can type here, I can copy into the fifth list, I can paste from another spreadsheet, but I don't want you to do that in advance until you know the prescribed format. And so I've got student B student A added to the list, and now I'm going to admit them. And notice that their name is on the list before they join. And so when they join, they get a green check mark before their name to indicate that they were on the list beforehand and they joined the meet. Student B, on the other hand, they weren't on the list, and they were added, and so they get the question mark. And the question mark is really just a visual clue to you to indicate that, hey, someone arrived and they weren't on the list already. If I click this little plus sign here, this little plus sign, if I click this little pencil eraser here, that will get rid of all the checks. So it will clear off all of the question marks and check marks, and then remark the attendance. In the background, the extension has recorded the time at which the student arrived, and also the fact that they are still in the meet or not. Okay, and it checks once per minute to make sure that the kids are still there. Notice that student A has now left the meeting. And you may have noticed a moment ago that student B has left the meeting. For whatever reason, my school district right now is kicking people who join anonymously, and I'm doing this. I'm faking the attendance, faking students arriving using a private or an anonymous window. So I'm going to actually, student B is going to come back. Oh, okay. I'm going to admit them again. And so they're back in the meet, and that's going to be important for the reports in a couple of moments. Now, I can continue to type names if I want, because if we do it this way, where the extension adds the names for you, it will only add the names who join the meet. You can then, after the fact, add the absentees yourself by copying and pasting, or as I just did there, type them in. It's a fully editable field. You may have noticed that there will be a little flash on this icon every so often. That simply indicates the extension in the background is taking attendance at that particular instant. Now, close that here. Right now I only have a couple of students in my meet, and so attendance will be simple because there's only a few of them there, or they keep dropping out on me. If you have more than a handful of students, and I'm not sure the exact number, Google actually starts showing and hiding them based upon whether or not they're active within the meet. And so if you've got a class of 30 students and only a few of them have their cameras on and only a few of them are chatting, then Google will remove those that are quiet. And so do you know that they're still there, or did they leave, or are they still actively listening and actively watching? You just don't know. To help things a little bit, you can change the layout. Sorry, let me just drag that over there. Change the layout so that we're using the built-in tiled layout. Currently, it supports up to 16 students. Google has promised that it will expand to 49 in the near future. Haven't seen that yet, but that will keep all of the students on the screen visible, and so you know that they're there, and my extension knows that they're still there. If you have more than 16 students and the tiled layout still doesn't have 49, hasn't been expanded to 49, or even if you have more than 49 students, well, then you're going to have to use the Gridview Fix extension to keep everyone on the screen. And the Gridview Fix is the one that has the green 3x3 grid on it. The official Gridview extension has a black 3x3 grid, but it's broken, and unfortunately the author seems to have abandoned the project and isn't updating it anymore. And so the Gridview Fix is the one that you're going to have to use. The Gridview Fix will appear in the top right corner of the screen with this little grid here as well. Notice that it has a slash through it right now, indicating that it is not enabled. Now it's enabled. The slash is gone. I just clicked on it to enable it. You may want to enable it by default so that as soon as you join the meet, Gridview kicks in and you don't have to worry about turning it on yourself. If you want to make sure that you're marked present during the meet, we'll then include yourself in the grid and make sure that this first option, that the show only participants with video option, is disabled, because once again, if the kids do not have their camera turned on, they will fall off the screen and you don't know whether they're still there or not. So there we go. I see that Gridview has been updated to version 1.40. It used to be 1.39, and there was a sort of a scary message about it being unauthorized, but that message has been taken away. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. So we've had our meet. Bring this back over here. Had our meet. Everything's gone exceptionally well. The students are have gone away. They've learned their lesson, and they're off to do what they have to do. And so we're about to end the meet. There is this field that allows. Oh, sorry. Before I do that, notice that the names are entered into the field by default in the order in which they arrive. And a lot of people don't like that. Down at the bottom of the screen, we have this little blue gear icon, and that opens up the settings tab. And in the settings tab, you can actually change the default sort order in the field. And so if we want, we can sort by last name. There's also these buttons to autosave the HTML files, and you'll see that in action in a moment. These are turned on so that you don't have to remember to save the files at the end of the meet. And that's something that I had to add because I kept forgetting to do it myself. So I sorted the names by last name, and there we now have them in the order that they appear. Again, student A, his name was on the list, and they got the green check mark. Student B, their name wasn't on the list, so she gets the question mark. And student C didn't show up. They weren't there at all, so they'll be marked absent. Just before we leave, there's a field at the top that allows you to enter some notes to just jog your memory later on when you're going back and looking at the attendant files. Now I'm going to say this class was great. There we go. And now to end the meet, leave the call is the tidiest way to leave things. If you also close the tab or accidentally close the Chrome window, the files will get created automatically for you as well, as long as automatic downloads are permitted within your Chrome settings. And there's a link on my Facebook page that explains how to do that. So I'm closing, and you'll see over here on the right side, the CSV file was created and the HTML file was created. They are saved by default in your downloads directory. That's where they are saved. There is no other place that I can really save the files automatically. The browser security is pretty strict about that because they don't want hackers overwriting or replacing or hiding malicious code on your machine. So everything has to get saved into the downloads directory. Now, there is a way, another setting in Chrome that allows you to bring up a prompt that says, oh, where do you want to save this file? And you can do that. Personally, I think it becomes a lot pretty obtrusive because that applies to every single download that you will have, not just the ones that are created by the extension, the attendance extension. So here's my HTML file. And there's the class. So student A and student B were both present. Student C, name on the list, never joined, and they're marked absent. Okay. So the HTML report, and there's the note that this class was great. Top right corner, there's a little envelope icon that allows you to create an email to me if you're having problems. Okay. And so that you could if things aren't going right, the attendance doesn't seem to be working, you've got questions, you want to send kudos, congratulations, whatever, click that. It will pop up an email, and then it's automatically addressed to me. If you have issues, please send me screenshots or videos or the data file, because it's going to be an awful lot easier for me to fix things if you say, this is the specific problem, rather than saying it doesn't work. I don't know what to do. I can't fix it then. So there we have the HTML reports. If we come back to the dialogue, we're good to go. If you have another class, you can just pick the next class and join the meet, and off you go. These names and your class lists are saved automatically to your Google profile. So if you log on right now, I'm connected to my Chromebook at school. I can go home to my laptop or to any other computer, log in with the same credentials, and my class lists, my class names and my class lists will automatically appear for me. Simple as that. Okay, hopefully that helps. If you have any questions and concerns, there is the Facebook page to get help. There are the the YouTube videos, and also, as I pointed out, the button in the HTML reports to send the information to me. Otherwise, I hope you're having a good school year. Everyone's staying safe and well, and wish you the very best. Thanks. Take care.